Hey, g'day. How are you going? I think this is an interesting time of year. Winter is here, especially where I am, but we've already been feeling the cold for quite some time. And it's interesting when you hear people talk about winter because it's sort of like suddenly you get all of these slow thoughts, you're trying to you're trying to keep active, but you sort of find it more difficult and stuff like that, and things are a little bit harder because you might need more clothes or something like that, or you feel the cold more and those sort of things. And I think weather is a huge part in our sort of society and what we're on it, what we're sort of dealing with at the constant level. And I mean, obviously at this point in time, I'm not talking about climate change. There's a huge thing about that on top of that, but I'm just talking about the seasons. And winter is one of those months when I always sort of see everybody starts to be a little bit more lethargic. Everybody's a little bit more sort of slowing down. Everybody's sort of feeling a little bit more, just sort of struggles a little bit more. And I think there's some simple things that you can do in winter to really be a little bit more enjoying it. I come from a sort of cold climate, so I don't sort of find winter as difficult. I find summer sometimes a little bit more difficult than I do winter. And I sort of enjoy getting out in the winter. I know that my hands get a little bit colder, but there's a thing called gloves. It's amazing. And you can wear those. And there's also a thing called pockets where your hands can go in them and they stay warm as well. So I've found those two and they've been quite good. But winter is really about just, I think a lot of people like to be free with clothes and stuff like that. So t-shirts, shorts, or one top can sometimes make people feel a little bit more free, a little bit more easy. It's not necessarily that they feel, that the warmth is making them, but they just feel a little bit less encumbered. When you get into winter, you've got, jumpers are starting, long pants, all of this sort of stuff. Everything feels a little bit close. You feel like you're nearly half Michelin Man if you've got 3 or 4 layers on. And you can sort of feel a little bit more like stifled, I think is the word to use. But I think there's a lot in winter that I find, and this is what I'm going to sort of talk about a little bit, is what I find can make winter a little bit more enjoyable. There are some things that that have their good and bad points. I think a lot of people for winter it's the fire, watching fire. People, I have a fascination with it as well. I can watch fire burning and just in the flames when you've got a little fire or a cauldron where you've got wood in and stuff like that. It can just be fascinating to watch the fire dance all over the wood and the flames and the different colors and so on and so forth. And sometimes it looks like the flame is like a couple of centimeters above the wood, and you sort of think that's not even burning and stuff like that. And so, I think a lot of people like the open fires. And I think we used to have an open fire, but you'd have to sort of like nearly wear a gas mask in there because it was an open fire. So the smoke, regardless of where you wanted it to go, would normally come into the room. So, you'd have to sort of like every couple of minutes you'd go out into a different room, allow your eyes to sort of readjust and stuff like that, and then you go back in there. But there was that cozy feeling and stuff like that. But I think, winter for me, the things that I like to do in winter and stuff is really around, there's 2 things. There's around food. There's a lot of foods in winter that you can really sort of cook that you probably wouldn't eat in summer. Summer's more the salad, the barbecue and stuff like that. But in winter, you can make the soups. I'm a huge soup fan. You can make those soups and they're really gorgeous, and stews, and you can really make some long, slow cooked meals that are sort of just lovely to just sort of eat, and it's hearty and it's warming and all of those sort of things. But you probably may not eat them in summer. So food is one thing that I really love about winter. Then I actually do like going out in winter into the going for walks in winter. I love the fact that you can see your breath. And I know that it means it's also very cold, but you can go out there, like I said, gloves, hat, beanie, all of that sort of stuff. If you have appropriate clothing on, you sometimes just need 1 or 2 layers. I normally just have that, and you can go out for long walks. And when you got a dog like I have, she loves that fact as well. And you can see her breath in front when she's been running around a little bit, and she loves it. But it's a nice time to go out because there's a different type of scenery that you're seeing there. Sometimes if you've got a lot of deciduous trees, it might be a stark scenery, but you won't see that at any other time of the year, and sometimes that can be just as beautiful. But then also, if you have got non-deciduous trees, those that don't lose their leaves, you've still got a different type of a landscape that you're looking at, because you've got this sort of misty landscape, and it can be really quite pretty as well. So love the walks. And then the last thing that I sort of like about winter is then that idea of that coziness. Don't necessarily need to be in a smoke-filled room with an open fire, but you can be under the blanket and you can just get a good book and just enjoy. Or for those of us who are maybe in a more technological, you can get your computer or your PlayStation, just be under the blanket and just enjoying that time and just being warm and cozy and just enjoying that feeling of being snug, which I think is something that humans absolutely love. So winter is a huge time to be able to do those different sort of things, because I think in summer, well, especially in this country, summer you can't do some of those things because you're just absolutely looking for relief from the sun. But in winter, you can really enjoy some of those more cozy things. And they're just some of the things that I like. So, with winter, look for something different to do. You can also, this is also the time when you can enjoy those really hot chocolates and hot coffees and stuff like that, and really enjoy the flavor and putting your hands around them and just enjoying the feeling that it brings as it sort of goes into your system. So there's a lot of things to enjoy about winter, and it's also a time that you can actually sort of do a lot of things, because you need to be indoors so you can get some things done as well. So try not to look at winter as sort of like the season to be comatose. Try and look at it in a different way and look at it as a season to explore new things, do new things, and just feel warm and enjoy that time. So hopefully you can sort of look at winter in a slightly different way and sort of enjoy it as well. So thanks for listening. Talk to you soon.